Yo, Elliott! So we've got a question here from one of our friends who wants to know if and when he should use steroids. In fact, I probably get about one of those questions a day. People wanting honest feedback from Elliott Hulse, because quite frankly, I'm probably one of the most transparent people on YouTube, about whether or not I should use steroids. So I'm gonna take my time with this one. Bear with me. Very first thing I want to do is share a quote with you from Ralph Waldo Emerson, where he says that all of life is an experiment, and the more experiments we make, the better. And the reason why I find that statement so profound is because every experiment we make leads to one thing: experience, right? It may be an experience that brought us pain, or it may be an experience that brought us pleasure. But either way, it gives us an authentic knowledge, because the only true understanding that we ever have, I've really been breaking down that word understanding a lot lately. And to stand under something is to embody something. You know, to experience something is to truly understand something. And you experience in that which understands or stands under your head, your body. You actually have to do things to truly understand. Okay, so that's just me being a little bit poetic. But all those experiences, good or bad, lead to wisdom and allow us to not only navigate the rest of our life after that experience in a far stronger way, because we now have visceral experience, we have understanding about what happens when we make certain choices. But when you leave this earth, when you die, you can only take your soul's progression with you. This body dies. All the right and wrongs died. All the judgments die, right? That was associated with human judgment, human evaluation of your activities. And your soul goes on. Now you may or may not believe, I don't know what the fuck happens when you die. But this is a story I tell myself. That when I leave this body, I want to look back and say, ha, that was a fun fucking ride. And I learned this, I learned that, and I shared this, and I experienced that. I want the full fucking gamut. I want, like Emerson said, to experiment as much as I can, because life is measured by the amount of experiments. Experiments lead to experience. Experience leads to wisdom. You want to gain wisdom? Do a lot of shit. Okay? So I can't answer your question. Because what you've got to really ask yourself is, what is it that you want to experience, and what type of wisdom do you want to grow, so that when you do pass, or when you do grow old, you can look back and nod your head and say, yes, I'm happy I did that. Not, I'm upset about the judgments people placed on it. The very first thing you've got to do, and I took some notes here, the very first thing you've got to do is ignore everyone. You've got to completely ignore everyone and the mass opinion about anything you're going to do, because it is as fickle and evolves and changes just like the fucking weather, right? It irritates me a little bit because everybody's so moral, but they don't realize that morals fucking change based on the generations and their particular feeling about a thing, right? It was moral at a particular time to be homosexual. It was just like, it wasn't even a conversation. It was like, yeah, fuck your buddies. It was just no big fucking deal. Here's my guy, and we're gonna go have sex. Then we decided, based on the church, that you know what, you probably shouldn't be fucking dudes. In fact, you know what, you're gonna go to hell, you're gonna burn up, and we're gonna kick you out, kill you perhaps, because you're fucking dudes. Now, a couple weeks ago, the Pope says, who am I to judge if you wanna fuck dudes? Do you see that it really doesn't mean anything? Do you see how people's moral judgments placed on others means shit? They've got books that they worship that they say, oh, this is the way it's written. But you know what? We're gonna change it. And it's always fucking changed. There was a time when whites and blacks shouldn't morally procreate. You just don't have sex with niggers, right? You don't make those, because I'm all mixed up, I'm of multiple races. And they would call, back then it would be like, it would be sinful to create a mixed child. They call you like an octoroon or some shit like that. You really don't fit in anywhere, But now, what the fuck? I live in the South, and I see more interracial relationships. I see little brown babies everywhere, more than I even see up north. I live down south where it's supposed to be so racist, but yet I see more racial intermingling than I see up north when I lived in New York. What's that all fucking about? And they're so morally just up north, right? So righteous. So that's my little rant on fucking ignoring everyone and everyone's morals and their judgments, because it fucking changes. They might not like you based on your choice, but your experiment leads to your experience, and it's your wisdom, and your soul evolves beyond their judgment. Fuck them, okay? And I think that's it. You've got to make the decision based on what you want to experience while you're living in this flesh for the limited time that you're living in this flesh. Some people might want to experience purity. They may, and you know, again, purity, what the fuck does that mean? They want to die saying, I've never had alcohol, I've never used drugs, I've never had sex. Well, congratulations. Like, that's great. Hey, cool. If that's the story that you're telling yourself and that's what makes you feel good, and you lie down in your deathbed saying, yes, I'm happy I never got drunk and fucked a woman, then, dude, that's what your soul wanted to experience. If you want to experience jumping out of fucking airplanes, and that's how your soul wants to evolve. Your soul wants to experience this fucking thing. I want to jump out of airplanes. Like these guys that race cars, right? NASCAR racers, that's big down here. I don't want to experience that. I don't want to drive fucking fast like that and potentially crash. I don't like speed. Do you see? But that's what his soul wants to. So am I going to judge him? Right? I used steroids for a period of months in 2010 because I wanted to see, you know what, I'm pretty fucking big and strong right now. Let me see what would happen if I used this substance. And it worked. I never became personally identified with it, and it went away. And now I can say I did it. I feel good about that. I feel good about my choice. I feel good about the lessons I learned because of my choice. The main lessons that you learn in life are always measured by the virtues or character traits that you carry with yourself. I learned non-attachment. I learned the principle of resurrection, resurrection, in the way that I'm describing it, is you've got a particular persona that you build up, it dies, and you're rebirthed. You resurrect, right? We all resurrect. We're all born again. And I learned this principle, and I exercised it. I shared it with you. I show it to you because of my steroid use. I also learned that it is of great service to the world to be transparent and honest. And that's why I tell you about it. All these other guys, you know some of them, right? Like I want to be like, dude, why don't you just fucking say it, bro? Just let them know. Besides the fact that it's illegal, and shit is illegal until it's not illegal, right? I mean, marijuana is about to become legal, right? Things are evil until they're not evil. So just fucking be true to your heart. Be true to the experience. Be true to the experiment that leads to the wisdom that you will carry with you when everyone else fucking dies. I'm done.